Thanks for being with me today and for being part of the Fearlessly Deliver. Um, I'm getting tongue-tied. Isn't that awful? Thanks for being part of the Art of Fearlessly Doing Business show and project. And so I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you so much, Michelle. My name is obviously Matthew Gardner. I'm with a company called Health Markets. We primarily serve individuals, families, small business owners, and what we really do is provide corporate-style benefits for the small folks, whether you're an independent contractor or you have 2 to 25 employees. A lot of agents in that space have kind of moved upstream to serve the 100, 200, 500. So it's a very underserved market. So it gives us a unique opportunity on the health insurance, supplemental side, life insurance, and disability side to help these small business owners get the same counsel that the big corporations would get. We've carved out a nice little niche.
Awesome. So tell me, why did you start or get into your business?
So it was, do you want to be a baseball player, a firefighter, or an insurance sales rep? And I didn't choose insurance sales rep because the other two failed. I actually graduated from ASU in the International Business Program with a minor in marketing. And my goal was right out of school to be quote unquote successful. And as a young professional, money and recognition were kind of my priorities. So I got my real estate license, got into commercial real estate brokerage. And I learned more about life, people, and business. 5 years in real estate, most people learn in a lifetime. And what I realized is it wasn't so much money and recognition that was important. It was more, how do I create a wealth for my family? How do I have integrity in my business? And I think most importantly, how do you put the customer in the best position possible? Because no matter what industry you're in, if you win, your company wins, and your customer wins, it's a long-term relationship. If somebody loses in there, whether it's the company or the customer, perhaps, I mean, we've all been in business situations where the customer was in a bad situation. That doesn't help the big picture. So, I was through an arbitration, almost through a lawsuit before I was 30 years old. I had a business partner that breached agreements. So for me, it was a blessing in disguise to kind of grow up at a young age, stick up for yourself, and understand the different dynamics of how businesses work at a young age. And so that was going on. And then late 2007, I was actually at a Christmas party at my colleague's house, who's been very successful in the business, not only family life, financially, and faith. Was kind of a mentor to me. I was at that party and it was like, okay, how does this whole insurance thing work? He goes, Matt, it's not like commercial real estate where you can go sell something and get a check with commas in it. It's a slow process. You build up a book of business, and as long as you can keep your customers happy and on the books, if they don't like the product, if you adjust the product, as long as you can keep them, you'll have a long residual income. So I didn't know anything about insurance. I didn't know anything about the business. And at that point I said, I'm in. I don't know if it was the couple glasses of wine I had or if it was a conscious decision, but at that point I went and got my license. Put in my notice in real estate. I finished up some of those transactions. So I've been doing this ever since.
And what was the biggest fear you had to overcome to get started?
So I think the biggest fear for me anyways was, when I first started in real estate, they literally handed me a box of cards that had my name on it and it said commercial real estate broker. I couldn't even spell commercial, much less real estate at that time. And they said, go get them. And I was like, go get what? So I had to literally cold call my brains out to try to, make a living. And so I saved up enough money and I took a class, and it was several $1,000s, and the class was put on by a gentleman out of California, and it was how to get to the decision maker on the phone. And they literally put me in a room. The first day was all training. Here's what you say, here's how you say it. It was mindset and then tactics. And then the second day they put a Polycom conference phone on the desk, and I'm sitting in a room with all my peers, all of which are very successful people making $500,000 to multi-million in the real estate. And I had to call 10 businesses in Arizona that everybody in the room would recognize, get the CEO on the phone, and have them meet with me. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. But what he did is he had a contest, and he said whoever can book the most appointments is going to get $500. So my fear kind of was just like, what do I have to lose? If I call somebody up on the phone and they say, I don't know who you are, I hope you die, what do I have to lose? I'm never going to know them again anyway. So with that, I was able to book 5 appointments with top CEOs in the company, and I used the tactics and things that they used in the phone script. And I think that was a big pivotal moment for me to kind of, I was thrown into the fire. I had to do it, right? I didn't have a choice. I had a phone, I had a name, I had a phone number, and I had to do it. So being forced into it maybe was fearful for me. But then fast forward into the insurance business, and I came in here and they said, hey, we have leads of people looking for what you sell. And I'm like, you mean to tell me I don't have to go find this stuff? So you have somebody's went on your website and said, hey, I need help with health insurance. Can you come help me? So being able to make 200 phone calls a day wasn't very difficult after what I was through in the real estate market.
Well, awesome. So once you got started, what was your first big bump in the road, and how did you get through it?
So I would say the biggest bump that I had was that situation that I had with my old business partner. We worked on a large transaction. When I first got in the business, we split commissions a certain way, right? Whatever I brought in, I shared with him. And then as you build that relationship, you start to share things back and forth more in a mutual relationship. So my 4th year in the business, we worked on a very large transaction. And I was due north of a 6-figure commission, and I came in and it was like $5,000. So it was a very awkward time for me. You start to question, did I do the right thing? Is maybe what they're doing the right thing? I tried to look at it from both sides of the, and at the end of the day, it was somebody that was taking advantage of a young guy in the business. And I had to stick up for myself, So we went to arbitration. My side of the story was this. His side of the story was this, and luckily through that arbitration I won. Unfortunately, I did get a little bit of money out of the deal, but at the end of the day, I think that being in that confrontational situation and knowing that what you're doing is the right thing, now as things have been thrown on my lap that are difficult situations, they're pretty easy to handle. So I think I've been blessed more than many. I find that there's a lot of professionals that have these same experiences, but when you have them in your 50s and 60s and you lose a lot of money, it's kind of hard to build it back. So being able to be in a situation at a young age to be through a pretty significant situation, I think has helped me greatly.
So what's your biggest fear right now, and how are you plowing through that?
Yeah, you know what? Thinking about that question is, honestly, I don't think I have any fears really. I'm probably more fearful for my kids and my family than anything business related. If something's thrown our way, you're going to get, taken off course. But you just, as you get things, you got to look at it and make adjustments. Right now I have about 40 agents that work for me. So every year in my business, I've said, how can I double? And every year we've been pretty successful in doubling. So I look at it and go, okay, if I have 40 reps now and I want to get to 80, it's kind of scary if you think about it, but when you look at it, if it's 2 a month, it's not that big of a deal. So it's taking bite-sized chunks to take it to the next level. So we're really excited about the next 5 to 10 years, and hopefully not too many curveballs are thrown at us. But if they are, we'll just stay in the batter's box and hit them as hard as we can.
And what's your biggest lesson that you've learned about being fearless that you want to share with the folks that are watching you?
I would just say that the biggest thing that I've learned is you can't take the elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. In a restaurant environment, I bartended and waited tables when I was in college. And I couldn't ask a busboy to pick up a mop and mop the floor if I wasn't willing to do it myself. So if I'm willing to make 100 phone calls a day, I can expect my guys to make 100 phone calls a day. So I think it's lead by example, and surround yourself with great people. If you have a great team, they're going to go out of their way to do great things for you. And I think you got to show that you care about them. Too many times in an organization, you have great people, but you look at their production or you look at their worth on paper. But you really got to get to know them. And if you really find out who these people are and care about them and remember things about them, it builds a little bit of a different culture. And at the end, they're willing to do more things for you, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, thanks so much, Matt. I really appreciate your time today, and look forward to seeing you on December 18th at the Art of Fearlessly Doing Business show at the 9 Gallery.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Take care.